trying to come and judge on you.
We out here.
We ain't trying to throw them stones on you.
We out here.
We just want to come and love on you.
We out here.
We just want to share the Lord with you. We out here in these streets. We out here in these hoods. We out here sharing Jesus Christ, going throw them up. We out here in these streets.
I always had a
We
love
out
for,
here in these
football and playing football. So my dream was to play football. But long story short, I got caught up into selling crack cocaine when I got kicked off the football team because of my grades. And I got totally discouraged and I found myself going down a long dark hole of selling crack cocaine at the age of 15, getting kicked out of high school, kicked off the football team, and I just started living a fast life. I was running from God. Uh, I knew that I was called to do God's work, but I ran. I wasn't ready. I ran from God, and I got caught up in selling crack cocaine for years. For at least 3 to 4 years, I was out there. The whole year, all the years you do in high school, I did those years on the street corner selling crack, and I ran into so many different situations. Where I was sexually active. I was getting drunk and getting high as a teenager, and I was making a lot of money doing it. I ended up getting locked up at like the age of 17 years old and had a felony on my record. And while I was in jail, I was praying. You go back to the jailhouse religion. I got locked up, so I'm like, I got the Bible, and I'm scared because I'm 17 and all these grown men looking at me. So I need to do push-ups and read the Bible or do something. but um, while I was in jail, God got my attention because the whole time I was on a street corner, the police would, get me. They never found anything on me. I always got away from the police. I mean, they never found anything on me. I robbed undercovers. I did all kind of stuff, and I started feeling like I'm untouchable. And when I got locked up, it's during a drought where you couldn't buy or sell any drugs, but I got locked up in a hotel room. So the whole time I was on the street corner, the police couldn't find none on me, and they locked me up at a hotel when I'm just chilling with the homies, smoking and drinking. They locked me up that kind of way. But anyway, while I was in jail, I did pray. I was in jail for like maybe 6 or 7 months, and I finally prayed and said, God, if you let me out of here, I'll do what you called me to do. And maybe like 2 or 3 weeks later, I heard the guard say, Montgomery, pack your bags. It's time to go. So when I got out of jail, the same day I gets out of jail, I start back selling crack cocaine again. I called my homeboys up. I need some more crack. Started selling crack the same day I got out. I thought I was playing God. I was like, yeah, I used you to get me out of jail, but I wasn't serious. And I'm selling this dope, selling crack cocaine. I turned 18 in jail. So that's how I spent my 18th birthday in the county, locked down. So when I gets out, I'm 18, back selling crack again, and maybe within 2 months of me getting out, a drought came through where we couldn't buy dope, sell dope. Only thing we could do was smoke. And I remember clear as day. It was a bright sunny day. We was standing outside in an apartment complex, and we was in a circle, and we was passing the blunt around in that circle. It was like 6 or 7 of us. And I remember I was facing um like the swimming pool, and behind the swimming pool behind my back was a street. So just clear as day, I'm looking at the swimming pool. I'm surrounded with my friends. We passing the blunt, and I heard a voice, clear as day. I heard a voice come to me and said, "Hey, turn around." So when I turned around, I seen a car just sitting there. I never seen this car before. I never seen this person before, but a car was sitting there. And my first thought was, "This a crackhead. I'm finna try to get this money before the homies get it," because it was a drought. So I'm like, "Let me get this money." So I jumps in the car. It seemed like people was just in the circle just smoking. They didn't even recognize I left. So I get in the car, and me and the driver, we talking about this drug transaction, and I'm telling him how much I give him, and he telling me how much he want to give me. So we going back and forth, and we start driving. And I told him, "Hey, drive up the block, turn around the corner, and drop me off at the corner store like I always used to do." So anyway, I get in the car, we driving, the driver's driving, and he go past the street I told him to turn on. And I'm like, "Look, I told you to turn down there to drop me off because I was gonna do my transaction and get dropped off at the store." So he missed the turn. So we driving down the main road, still fussing about the dope. And at this point, I got my seatbelt on, doors locked, and the windows up. So he drives maybe a mile or two down the road, and he backs up in some apartment complex, right? So when he backs up into the apartment complex, my first thought was, I don't caught a cell case, and I just been out of jail for 3 months. And I'm thinking I'm finna do the rest of my time. So when he backed up in the apartment complex, the guy was parked, and he looks at me, and his eyes was jet black. Oh my God. His eyes was jet black. And he looks at me with this rage and hate on his face. And he said, he said, "Look at you. You sitting in my car with your seatbelt on, windows rolled up, and the doors locked." Now this is something I never done. All the years I was on the block, I never got in people's cars with the seatbelt on or any of that, because you want to be quick to jump out the car if something happen. So he said that to me, and he said, "Look at you. You sitting in my car, windows rolled up, doors locked, and the seatbelt on." He said, "You don't even know who I am, do you?" So then he put the gun to my head. So when he put the gun to my head, I was like, "Who are you?" And he said, "I could be a jacker, like a robber. I could be an undercover, or I could be sent." So why he holding a gun to my head and he said sent? Since I was raised in the church and I knew about God and the devil, I knew about spiritual things. When he said sent, my first thought, I felt the presence of total hell in that car. And my first thought was, one tear came down my face while he holding the gun to my head. And I said, "God, if you real, forgive me right now, because I know if I die, I'm going straight to hell." So while he was still holding a gun to my head, he said, "You better be glad that God forgave you. I was gonna kill you. I bet I never see you out here selling dope again. I'm gonna kill you. You hear me? You just met the devil. I bet I never see you out here." So when he said that, I seen the hate on his face. I seen the murder in his eyes. I seen this visual of what I never saw before, what I never seen before. But I also felt the grace of God. I felt God's mercy and grace right then and there in that car. He still took my drugs, he took my money, he took my brand new Jordans, he took everything I had. But I felt in that car that he couldn't take my soul. And I realized at that point, this whole thing, he wanted to take my soul and snatch me straight in hell. And while he was holding a gun to my head, I was also reflecting on a friend of mine who got shot in the head a year prior to this happening to me, and he was only 16. So I was just thinking like I'm at the end of my rope at 18 years old. I know the promises that I told God, and I know I've been running, but I knew for a fact that if I had not cried out to God, my parents would have been burying me at 18 years old. And I witnessed Satan face to face. I witnessed a real encounter. That was my road to Damascus. I witnessed that real encounter where I realized at that point, even though growing up in church, you hear about God, you hear about the devil, you hear about hell and Satan and all this. But when you could see that demonic entity looking at you dead in your face, you ain't dreaming. It's not a vision. It's real. And when I seen that, that changed me for the rest of my life. I was 18 years old. And that's when God changed my mind. That's when, you know, I kept smoking weed, but I couldn't get high. I still was trying to sell dope, but I couldn't make no sales. I got to the point where I was like, God, I can't do this because what I just went through, it I just couldn't do it. I was paranoid. I couldn't even go out no more. I was shook, totally shook. So then after that happened, I went to my mom's house, my mom and dad, and I went in the house and they watching some kind of praise TV network on TV. So I walks in, I bust through the door, like, Mom, Dad, I just got robbed. I just got robbed. And my mom and dad sitting on the couch watching some praise TV network, right? And my mom looks at me and she says, well, I was praying that God allowed something to happen to you to get your attention. She wasn't like, oh, baby, oh. Nah, she was like, yeah, we have been praying that God will get your attention some kind of way. And after that, God just did something with my mind. He changed my mind. I mean, when I got out of jail with that felony, I tried to go to the Navy at 18, but they told me they couldn't take me because I was first time offender. I was on probation for 3 years. So they had that felony on there. So during the 3 years of the probation, I was just kind of like, man, let me go back and get my GED. Got my GED. Said, well, let me enroll in a community college. Went to a community college. While I was going to the community college, right when I was about to graduate, that's when 9/11 happened. So I seen 9/11 happen while I'm walking through the hallways in college. And when I seen 9/11 happen, at that time, my probation period was over. I was 22 years old, and I said, you know what? I'm finna go serve my country. Because I'd rather die for my country than die in the streets selling crack cocaine. And when I went to the recruiter's office at 22, after I got my associate's degree in print and graphics, God worked it out where they accepted me in the Navy. And when they accepted me in the Navy, that's when that everything just started getting better for me. But I knew for a fact that if I had not cried out to God, my life would have been over. And when I went to the Navy at 9/11, 22 years old, I was like, look, I'm ready to serve my country, And I did 8 years,
out here.
We
but
ain't tryna throw them stones on you.
We out here.
We just wanna come and love on you.
We out here.
We just wanna share the Lord with you. We out here in these streets. We out here